Hey everyone, we're back with another chapter of Mr. Tiger, Betsy and the Blue Moon. And guess what? We're on chapter 21, which means I think we only have 3 chapters left. I haven't really counted them, but I think it's 3. But we're so far through the book, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Let's get started without further ado. So, if you remember last time, the moon had come really close to the Earth, and the team had managed to put the tent on her head, which kind of ended up looking a bit like a hat. So, chapter 21. This was such a momentous moment that Mr. Tiger felt a speech was needed. He tapped his silver-topped cane and bowed. "Oh, moon of muchness that shines on Gongalong Island, this is an honor indeed for a tiger of secrets and whiskers, tails and tails, to present a spectacle that is out of this world, performed by the many feet of magical Gongalong acrobats and their horses." "Wait!" interrupted the moon. "Are you about to say one small step for a Gongalong and one mighty step for a tiger paws?" "Indeed not," said Mr. Tiger. "Why?" "Only that is what the spaceman said. It gives me the shivers to think of those clumsy space boots clambering all over me again," said the moon. "I wouldn't dream of such a thing," said Mr. Tiger. "Shall we begin?" With the tap of Mr. Tiger's cane, the musicians started up and the show began. First, huge hula hoops of light, with the acrobats spread-eagled inside, whirled across the top of the moon. On wires that ran from star to star, they bicycled back and forth. Sometimes, they stood on each other's shoulders. 20 gongalongs. We've got a pretty illustration here. 20 gongalongs high. The little horses galloped and flew over craters. The acrobats, shimmering and twinkling with moon dust, whirled and twirled as if they were made from the air itself. On the moon, gravity made their bones weightless and their hearts happy. Nothing was impossible. They whizzed round and round, and as good as flew through the air on their little horses. They rolled and tumbled until the moon was giddy beyond boundless. "Oh," said the moon, "oh, the muchness." After the show was over, the acrobats climbed carefully down the ladder, taking their horses with them. Only Mr. Tiger and Betsy were left to say goodbye. The moon shone more silver than it had done in trillions of light years, which was its way of saying thank you. "This is sad," said the moon. "I hate to see you go. It makes me feel like waxing. It makes me want to wane." Maybe you can get your mums and dads to explain that little pun. When the moon is waxing, it means it's leaving us. When the moon is waning, it means it's growing big again. I think that's right. "But for all that I have an honest light, and I need to tell you that no matter how high in the sky I might rise, your circus tent is never going to be big enough to turn me blue." "With great respect, Moon," said Mr. Tiger, "I thought you would say that. I have a plan. With the help of our dear friend in the box, there may be a remedy." Betsy opened the box. The moon was curious. "What is in there?" "A toad," said Mr. Tiger as Betsy carefully lifted the toad out. "Remember," she said, "what you have to wish for." "Don't be silly, how could I forget?" said the toad. She puffed herself up big. "I wish with all my might to make the moon shine blue and bright, by making the circus tent big enough to cover it tonight." She had turned the moon blue. It wasn't a good rhyme, Betsy thought. It was quite embarrassing and wondered if a bad rhyme might make a wish go wrong. She need not have worried because the circus tent began to grow. It draped itself over moon rivers, moon mountains, and moon marshes until the moon's surface was completely covered and its silvery light shone blue through the silk of the circus tent. "Well, I never," mumbled the moon. It was hard to speak under so much fabric. Mr. Tiger thanked the moon for being so understanding and promised they would visit if the moon ever chose to come this close to Gongalong Island again. "Oh dear," said the moon. "Seeing you go makes me blue, bluer than a blue should ever be. I'm probably bluer now under the circus tent than I have ever been before. Blue enough to pop a Gongalong berry. To think I may never be silver again. All I have as a reminder of this magic show is the blue of your circus tent. Will I always be covered in it?" "No," said Mr. Tiger. "The tent will shrink to its original size by the time you go to bed." "Then I will wear it as a badge of honor," replied the magnificent moon. The stars crowded closer to make sure the moon returned to its throne in the sky. Mr. Tiger felt there was no need to say any more. Betsy climbed onto his back, holding tight to the toad as they made their way down the ladder to where Ivan was waiting. The Gongalong band played the blues, and they watched from below as the moon, guided by the stars, was taken home. Chapter 22. Dad and the Gongalongs were waiting. They wore dark sunglasses. Dad had insisted, as it was one of the 3 instructions. Do you remember the instructions that Dad received? Best be on the safe side, he had said. All the would-be berry pickers held butterfly nets in case Dad's machine didn't work. For there was no way of testing it. No one knew for certain what Gongalong berries looked like, or even how you harvested them. Dad nearly missed noticing that the moon had turned blue. It was only when the leaves of the Gongalong bushes started to shimmer that he saw the reason for the dark glasses. The ripe berries shone as bright as gems. They looked like jewels rather than fruit. Glimmering with the colors of the rainbow, they popped off the bushes and began to fly up towards the moon. "What do we do?" shouted the Gongalong berry pickers as they ran this way and that, bumping into each other and falling over themselves. The berries led them a merry dance and seemed to be getting away. "Don't worry," said Dad, who was very worried as he cranked the handle of the machine. To calm himself, he said his poem under his breath. "This is my latest invention. It's made from an which is found in an engine, with a part of a drum and a chain from my bike, stuck together with..." There was a moment's silence, then a loud clunk and a gurgling sound, which went on longer than a gurgling sound ever should. Before the of a sound began to hum, there was another click, as if a giant vacuum had been turned on. Dad held tight to the long hose as it began to swoop wildly, sucking up every berry. Not one berry escaped from Mr. Glory's Gongalong berry catcher, ice cream making machine. Another wonderful illustration. Really pretty, isn't it? All those shiny berries getting sucked up by the Hoover. It reminds me of the Hoover in the Teletubbies. I don't know if you still watch the Teletubbies, but I used to when I was small. By the time the sun had opened one eye on the new day, it would never have guessed where Mr. Tiger's circus had been. though it did wonder what the moon was doing with a circus tent pinned to its silvery surface. By 10 in the morning, Mr. Alfonso Glory had made the ice cream. It was a multicoloured confection that fizzed and frothed with glitter. "Can I try some?" asked Betsy. "Please, oh pretty please." "No," said Dad. "There is just enough for the Toad, the Gong-alongs and 1 scoop for Ivan. That's all. We don't need wishes, do we?" "I suppose not," said Betsy, "though I would like a brother or a sister." Dad laughed. "You don't have to wish for that. Now help me hand out the ice cream." The Toad was the first to be given a scoop. She was sitting on a cushion, a great improvement on the slimy stone, with her legs crossed as her tongue flicked out to roll a scoop of ice cream into her mouth. "What does it taste like?" Dad asked. "It tastes of wishes, of raspberries and cream tea on hot summer days. Then slightly of lemon, now of macaroons and cakes. Oh, how it fizzes on my tongue. Then it—" But before the Toad could finish what she was trying to say, to everyone's amazement, she began to blow up. She became bigger, even bigger than when she made her blue moon wish. Bigger and bigger until no one dared look, in case she was going to explode. And explode she did, into a shower of rainbow colours. Mr. Glory was terribly worried he might have killed the Toad by mistake. As for the Gong-alongs, they were weeping, wailing and gnashing their teeth. "Where has our princess gone?" they cried. She was delicate as china cups and strong as cement. Uh-oh, and that's where I'm going to leave you. That's quite a cliffhanger, isn't it? Next chapter is chapter 23, and you can listen to it in the next video.